And honestly, I mean, I was instantly buying into the concept, kind of the vision, the overall look and feel of what you guys were doing was really attractive. And, uh, I didn't hesitate to reach out and just kind of wave my hand and say, hey, I'm over here. Let's try to do something.
I am Jeff Mason with the Piston Foundation. My guest today is Steve Kittrell. Steve is the founder of Veloce Valuations in Monterey, California. Veloce Valuations provides professional automotive valuation guidance to estates and businesses. Steve is an accomplished automotive journalist, accredited appraiser, ICJAG concours judge, collection manager, and father of two. Steve has been at the heart of numerous classic car shops and businesses, including T. Rutland's West, Sports Car Market Magazine, GTO Engineering, More Imports, and Veloce Media. On top of all of that, if you look at Steve's Instagram, right there, you will know why I say with full respect and some envy that he is the most California guy that I know. So I'm also proud to say that Steve and Veloce Valuations are Piston Foundation community partners. So Steve, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm so happy to be here and talk with you. And yeah, we've got it pretty good here in Monterey. We live in such a thriving car community. Everybody thinks about August and Pebble Beach and Carmel and Concours, but we're here year round and enjoying every piece of the peninsula.
How did you find out about the Piston Foundation, and what's been your involvement so far?
Yeah, it was through Bring a Trailer for sure. I try to look at everything all the time, and I look for, like I said, those improvements or the announcements that Mac make and those partnerships, because I feel it affects, what we do. I saw, some listings and immediately went to the website. I think we also received some material in the mail. You guys did some outreach to More Imports as a top seller of what that could look like. And honestly, I mean, I was instantly buying into the concept, kind of the vision, the overall look and feel of what you guys were doing was really attractive. And, I didn't hesitate to reach out and just kind of wave my hand and say, hey, I'm over here. Let's try to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. And thanks for that. And I will say that I think we just did something pretty darn cool together with the Miniature d'Elegance auction of 81 die-cast cars. How did that give us the backstory on how you were able to bring that to a partnership with the Piston Foundation?
It's funny. I really believe in, planting seeds along the way, and it all kind of came together. The right opportunity that I thought for a charity auction had presented itself, and not in the way I thought, and possibly a car or a small collection, but 81 Danbury mint models and collectibles from the 80s and 90s. Actually, I have one right here. Actually, the only one that didn't make the collection to sell was this 300 SL. And the only reason why is my partner in this building has this exact car. Yeah, we kind of went OCD and took thousands of photos. Is really what it needed to show how special each and every one of these models were.
Well, I've spoken to both the auction winners. We divided those 81 into two different groups, and both those auction winners are over the moon to have won those lots, and they each have created a place of honor for all those models. So, for you as a business person, and with deciding how you want to, what you're doing with Veloce Valuations, how did that decision to partner with the Piston Foundation, fit with that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question. So, going back to GTO Engineering, I think one of our biggest challenges and challenges kind of in our industry is youth and passing of knowledge and talent and skill. And so I've hired interns in the past. I've had success in doing so, a long-term success. Still, I work with a guy here that helps me with collection management. That was an intern, automotive technician student, and he, followed me up here, and we've had a nice career together. We actually do dom patrol every year. That's our thing. We've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
when you think about what's going to be needed,
I'm not going to be the youngest guy in the room anymore. There's got to be some progression. Who's helping with that? Well, Piston Foundation is the calling and the choice for that bridge gap. So in thinking about GTO and thinking about what I do on the valuation side, I felt that there was a charitable handshake that my company could grow into, and I've always been kind of looking for who I want to do that with, and Piston's been the choice.
Great. Well, we really appreciate you raising your hand and getting involved, and we're really excited about everything that we'll do in the future, because I think we've had a great start with the miniature elegance, which I'll just say, I was a die-cast collector as a kid, so that was like, that would have blown my mind when I was 13. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about the shortage of collector car technicians. Both, what do you see as the reasons behind that, and what do you see as potential solutions?
It's a really highly debated topic. Anytime that I'm in a cars and coffee setting, or I'm doing a club meeting with Porsche guys or Ferrari guys, we all kind of have the same conversation, which is who's interested, and how are we going to get people involved. And I think that there's a little bit of hesitation in each generation, not just this group and not in that group. I mean, I think every generation is a little hesitant on letting go, or feeling like someone's going to come and take their place, and not enough guys are interested in taking the time and communicating what they know. So I think that's part of the shortage. That's where it starts. And then, the other part of the conversation is, what are people going to be interested in taking on, and what are they going to be interested in learning about, and who wants to grab that baton? So I think the most important thing, Jeff, is giving people opportunity to decide where it is that they want their interest to lie. Because it's easy to say, oh, the next generation just wants to plug into a computer and kind of go to the mainframe. No one wants to break down a set of Weber carburetors. But giving opportunity, Jeff, is like number one thing, and they can decide where they're going to go from there. But if we keep feeding that machine of opportunity, and hey, there's this you can go to, you can shadow judge here, their eyes might fixate onto something that we never intended.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I always think about it the way I experienced music, which was, when I was a kid, we were listening to Led Zeppelin, and then you listen to enough Led Zeppelin and you start to think like, well, where did that come from? Right. And then you start moving back into blues, and then you think, well, where did that come? Where did Lightning Hopkins come from? And then you're all the way back to the beginning because you got interested in today. And I often think of cars that way,
And that just gives me confidence to translate that right into cars, because I can relate to Zeppelin in the same way. My dad turned me on to Zeppelin, and my daughter just sent me a link to a Zeppelin song that she loved the other day, right? So it's like, we're going to make it, okay? We're going to make it. These cars are going to live. There's going to be, continuation of these cars and interest. And I think creating these opportunities through scholarship, I mean, what a chance for someone to step up and take that opportunity and do more than we ever thought that they were going to do.
Yeah. So on that note, thinking about the car community at large and thinking about this, big issue of getting youth into the industry, what do you think that the car community needs to know about the Piston Foundation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that more people need to be exposed to your message, and I think you're going to be related to that. You're going to understand that this is important. So I think that just really understanding your message and seeing who your partners are is going to be, what gets people involved. It's like me. I saw Bring a Trailer on there. It made sense. I knew that there was going to be strength behind that, and that real things were going to be accomplished. So if I could suggest anything, is go to the website, read through some people's stories, watch the videos that you guys have produced, and if you feel like there's something connective for you, then you should get involved.
I think that's a great message. From taking a turn to the business side with Veloce Valuations being a Piston Community Partner, us working together on the auctions we've just completed, as well as some super secret plans that we have for the near future. From the business side, for other businesses within the collector car industry, what do you think they need to know about the Piston Foundation and our mission?
As you spend more time within your business and you grow, and each 5-year chunk, I think you learn a lot. So as I hit my 15th mark in the automotive industry, I think it's important to find something that you're passionate about within the space.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get burnt out as an owner or as a boss, and you're doing the same things over and over. Find something that you're linked with that could maybe be part of your personal legacy, or another arm for your business. It doesn't hurt to give.
Mm-hmm.
It feels really good. And again, I think early on in people's careers, you're fighting so hard just to make it, and you get to a certain point where you love to do passion projects, and that's kind of where I'm at here. It's like, okay, how can we really reach community locally and beyond? So as a business professional, look at yourself, look at what you'd like to do and where you'd like to be in 5 years. And for me, hopefully that means a lot of charitable work. It just feels right to me.
Great. Well, that's great advice for everybody. And I like that idea of thinking about legacy. I think we've got a lot of folks, who built the collector car industry, right? So coming out of the hot rod era, a lot of this industry, that's where its feet got put down, and people have grown it since. And so we do have a lot of folks that are thinking about, the last years of their career and what they might want to do and how they might want to pass that on. And we hope that Piston Foundation can be something that people engage with as part of their, their legacy making, and passing on what they know. That knowledge is so critical. One of my greatest fears is that we begin to lose knowledge at a pace we can't recover it. And that's a real driver for our organization in terms of getting young people engaged, making sure they've got the opportunities that they're interested in, giving them a path, giving them a career path forward, because I just feel like there is an expiration date for some of the knowledge that lives in the industry today, and we definitely don't want to exceed that.
No, you're right. And here's the other thing: any student or prospective technician, there's work. This is an industry that's
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of opportunity, and there are positions out there spread all over the country and the world. But I'm telling you, every restoration shop, every mechanic shop is looking for talent and people. So, don't be scared. That you're going to be left. You're going to go through a process. You're going to go through a school, and there's nothing for you after your degree. That's not the case in vintage and modern sports car. I mean, we're frothing for talent.
That's an important message. It really is. There's we've had decades of underemployment of folks who pursued a college degree in a field that didn't really have the need, for those workers, or the need shifted, the best business economics, the technology shifted, and a lot of people got stranded. And I that's not the case with automotive and collector cars. There's opportunity, I think, both on the kind of straightforward path, but also on the entrepreneurial side. And I think you're a great example of that. How much entrepreneurial opportunity is within this industry. I think it's part and parcel of it because there's so many self-starters. There's so many do-it-yourselfers within the industry. I think that's part of its nature, part of its DNA. But I think that begets a lot of entrepreneurial opportunity for everybody who wants to take that risk.
Yeah, I mean, look at Lufticolt is such a great example of that, of just carving out, something really that's become its own behemoth. And those are just passionate guys. And within there's I saw it this last weekend, a lot of sponsors, a lot of brands, a lot of growth that's definitely come off of that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yep. I think you're right. So what's next for Veloce Valuations? What's on the horizon for you?
We're really just trying to do a good job. This is our event space here. This is a part of it, the roof. I'm up on the second level. I've got a large office and building here in Monterey that we also rent out for automotive events or product launches and branding.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're growing into this space at 456 Lighthouse. So that's a fun part of the business. And then, on the valuation and collection management side, we're just continually curating the cars that we have, making them better, showing at concours. We showed at Pebble last year with Ferrari Challenge or the Ferrari Casa Ferrari. And we keep getting invited to show it more. We're showing at Quail this year. So you can't do everything at once.
Right.
So things just take a year after year after year. So it just always feels like this steady growth, which I'm really thankful for. So, yeah. And then in the background, I'm taking care of estates and people who need appraisals for, the day-to-day life. And so that always feels rewarding to me, just to do a service to people who most of the time are one-off clients.
Yeah.
They've got a car given to them, someone passed away. I've got that going on a lot right now. It's just people getting their affairs in order. So I like acting as that agent of understanding.
So if there's an estate or a business that needs your assistance with evaluation, what's the best way to reach Veloce Valuations and you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, VeloceValuations.com, and that's all my social ats too. You can find me pretty easily just by typing that in. I'm also part of the Automotive Appraisers Network, ASA, Automotive Specialties. So we've got a small contingency of about 20 guys across the U.S. who are accredited appraisers or close to, and there's not many of us. There's not many, appraisers of specialty automobiles.
Yeah.
You can get in a fender bender in your Boxster or something and call just about anybody that could handle that. But if you've got something that's a little bit more unique, or you don't really have your finger on the pulse with valuation or the market, or we're just a great resource. I mean, I wouldn't sell my house, myself. You get somebody to help you understand where things lie. So, like I said, Jeff, it's rewarding for me.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that really is specialized knowledge. And when you have one of those cars that, is either, you're looking to sell it, or it needs an appraisal for value or repair. I mean, it really is important to understand the true value of that vehicle at this moment in time, which might be very different if you're not living in the culture, or even if you are a car enthusiast, but don't do that all the time. You might not realize the nuances. So it's great that there's a group of knowledgeable appraisers who can provide that service.
We all take a lot of pride in just doing a good, honest job. There's a lot to be said about giving people options and telling them, this is the best thing that you could do at this time.
Well, thanks for spending some time with me to chat about Veloce Valuations, the Piston Foundation, your thoughts on, the car community and all of this, as well as, the career opportunities for youth in this industry. I really appreciate your insights on it.
Thank you so much. It's, I love talking about what's going on and state of the market, state of our culture. And this is such a thriving community and thriving industry. I'm so excited just to have a place in it.
That's great. Well, we are, if I could speak for the car community, I would say we're excited to have you as well. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thank you.
So VeloceValuations.com and of course, PistonFoundation.org.